Hi, I'm Casey McKinnon, and this is a Comic Book Orange. Geoff Johns and Richard Donner continue their run as writers on DC Comics' Superman-centered Action Comics with issue number 855. When announced, the collaboration of Johns and Donner sounded like a perfect match. Johns has been doing stellar work on Green Lantern and JSA and taking classic characters and working them into new storylines. And Richard Donner directed the first Superman movie, and the comic has featured many of the movie's elements: the crystalline look of Krypton, the Phantom Zone, and of course, Zod. Their first storyline sounded epic in scope, with the introduction of the famed general to the post-Infinite Crisis universe, but things don't seem to gel together. Superman comes across more like a lost teenager than the experienced Man of Steel. The issues were late, with DC interrupting with another storyline, and the ending hasn't even been delivered yet. Adam Kubert's art was dynamic as always and his layouts excellent, but his facial expressions were sloppy. Still, it was miles ahead over new artist Eric Powell's work for the new issue. We want to like Johns and Donner's run, but with sloppy delivery by the creative team, we can only give it 2 oranges out of 5. When we come back, we'll be reviewing The Lone Ranger and Emily Strange.
Where are we?
Where do you think? It's cool. You still got PulpSecret.
Woo! Thanks, Satan.
Osio, I look for a handsome man to be my kimosabi. Must be tall, dark, mysterious. Into roleplay? Like Lone Ranger from Brett Matthews and Sergio Cariello. Dynamite's Lone Ranger is a brilliant retelling of the Lone Ranger legend about the last surviving member of a Ranger family bringing justice to the Wild West. Writer Brett Matthews takes the classic elements of the character and reworks them into a modern Western tale. The landscape and the people are rough, and the action can be quite violent. Where Matthews does make changes, it produces interesting results, such as deepening the character of Tonto. If anything is better than the writing, it's the art by Sergio Cariello. He matches the grittiness of Matthews' words, the story is easy to follow, and his compositions will be loved by any spaghetti western fan. Colorist Dan White's work is also solid, and fan favorite John Cassaday provided art direction and awesome cover art. The Lone Ranger is available in hardcover, and we strongly recommend you pick it up, as we give it 4 oranges out of 5. The Death issue from pop goth character Emily Strange comes out today from Dark Horse Comics. Rob Reiger's fashion creation Emily Strange seems to have 2 obsessions: cats and death. So of course, her comic contains 4 stories around those 2 subjects. The first story is cute and mildly funny, the second confusing, the third was adorable but incomplete, and the last was a repeat of the first. Overall, they're weak and don't necessarily go anywhere, with the hodgepodge of work making it feel more like a small magazine. But the art was really cute, so it's no wonder why so many teenage girls are into this. But I might be worried if I was a parent, since I wouldn't want my daughter dreaming of death. Emily Strange only gets 1 orange out of 5. Well, those are our reviews. Now it's your turn. Go to comicbookorange.com to submit your own reviews. You can also leave us sweet-ass comments on PulpSecret or on YouTube. Speaking of comments... Giving Grant Morrison's rendition of Batman 3 oranges, Corey says, "Yeah, I think the 666 issue was alright, but kinda hard to follow the storyline. Kinda. The idea was awesome, but wow, it was confusing as hell to follow." Commenting on our Frank Miller video, Checkerphil said, "A Martha Washington movie would be awesome." Well, no news on a Martha Washington movie, but it was recently announced that Ronin will be adapted for the big screen. And lastly on YouTube, Hits You Gay As Girl 1 said, "You can tell that background is fake." No way, Hits You Gay As Girl 1. This background's made with all American plaster and... What the fuck?